Hello, baseball fans. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we are back for some more dead ball shenanigans. It is our 1908 Chicago White Sox replay, and the White Sox prepare to take on the St. Louis Browns, game 3 of a 4-game set, and the teams have split the first 2 games of this series, both shutouts. So today, Sox look to get back on track. They lost a 1-0 heartbreaker yesterday. And in the real-life game played on 4/19/1908, this was yet another shutout. The Browns won 4-0 behind a 5-hitter by Harry Howell. And Harry Howell, the Browns starting pitcher, actually holds the franchise record. And that includes, of course, both St. Louis and the franchise relocating to Baltimore. Career ERA of 2.06. So Howell on the mound today will oppose Doc White, who started the opening day game against the Tigers, which ended in a 4-4 tie called on account of darkness. Our lineups for the Browns: Danny Hoffman leads off in right, Charlie Jones in center, George Stone in left, Jimmy Williams at second, Bobby Wallace at short, Hobie Ferris at the hot corner, Tom Jones at first, Tubby Spencer behind the dish, and of course Howell is on the mound. For your homestanding White Sox: Ed Hahn in right, Fielder Jones in center, Patsy Doherty in left, Freddie Perrant at shortstop, Jake Atz at second, Jiggs Donahue at first, Lee Tannehill at third, Billy Sullivan behind the plate, and of course Doc White on the hill. So the exact same lineup as the first 4 games for the Sox in this as-played replay. We are ready to get underway. Danny Hoffman for the Browns is ready to step into the box. Umpire checks with the pitcher, signals play ball, crowd cheers, and here we go. So we're going to start out right away with a defensive check on third base, and that's going to be a total of 12 in column 4, and that will be a potential error, and 24. So there were a total of 3 errors committed by the Sox in real life in this one. 16, not going to happen here though, as despite the bobble, Tannehill's able to complete the play. 5-3 on the putout, 1 down. Charlie Jones now the batter, and we are going in column 1. Total of 39, and 39 is going to be a ground ball down to first. And taking that himself is going to be Jiggs Donahue. 2 quick outs for Doc White and the Sox. George Stone the batter, and back into column 1, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. Doc White with a K, 3 up, 3 down. And we head to the bottom of the first inning. No score in this one. Ed Hahn leads it off against Harry Howell. And going to be in column 3. Total of 49, and that will be a line drive toward right field versus right-handed pitcher. That is going to be a single. So Hahn starts the game off on a positive note for the Sox, and again using the automated steal system, which comes up on the batter's card with plus signs, asterisks, or letters, which Fielder Jones does not have any. So going to be in column 2 for this result. And a grand total of 16 in column 2. And that's going to be a single to right field. Runners advance 1 base. So station to station. And the Sox starting off promising here. Patsy Doherty the batter. And thinking about potential bunt, decides that they're going to swing away. So column 5, we're going to have a total of 6, and that is going to be a walk. So the sacks are loaded. And Harry Howell, who pitched the shutout in real life, is in a huge amount of trouble here. Nobody out. Bases full of Sox. Freddie Perrant, the batter. And going to column 5 again, it's going to be a total of 23. And 23... that is going to be yet another walk. So a run has been walked home. Sox lead this 1-0, and we're going to go to column M for a potential wild pitch. So column M on the action chart, and that's going to be a total of 4 possible pass ball. So on pass ball, if blue die is higher than the catcher's pass ball rating, which in this case it is not, so no harm, no foul there. As Jake Atz, the Chicago second baseman, still nobody out. 1 run in already. And going to be in column 2, a total of 20. And 20 is going to be a fly out to right field. Runner on third base is going to score with less than 2 outs. So fielder Jones comes in with the second run of the inning for the Sox. Other runners are going to hold. So first out, runners on first and second for Jiggs Donahue, and the left-handed hitting first baseman steps in. Column 2, and we're going to go to the ballpark chart, and this is going to be 60. And it is still going to be a raised 1. So 60 in column 2. A looping drive to the outfield, and this is going to right field. If the fielder's defensive rating is higher than the raised number, he makes a fine running catch. Runners on second and third advance 1 base if speed greater than the outfielder's arm. So a lot going on there. In right field, a arm rating of 4 for the Brownies right fielder Danny Hoffman. And runners on second, Doherty is a 5, so he's going to go over to third base. So that is going to be yet another sacrifice fly. 2 outs. Runners at the corners, and Lee Tannehill up as the Sox to a good start, looking to make it even better. Here comes a pitch. And going to be in the power alley, and a total of 17 in column 6. And Tannehill drives that deep into left field, going back is Stone, and a fine running catch to end the inning. But a couple of hits, couple of walks, and a couple of runs. Sox leave 2. We head to the top of the second, and it is 2-0. Chicago in the lead. Jimmy Williams up against Doc White. And going to the column, or power column there, is going to be a 12. And 12, and we have our first home run of the replay. A little bit of dead ball power as Williams drives that down the right field line, and it just curves inside the foul pole. A round tripper, and Williams had 4 home runs in 1908. He's got his first today. And the Brownies are on the board, so there will be no shutout finally. 3 shutouts in a row coming into this one, and both teams are on the board early here as Bobby Wallace, the shortstop, comes up. And back to the power column, and it's going to be a total of 32 in column 6. Pops him up, and third baseman Tannehill is under that for the put-out, 1 away. Fans in this time do not quite know how to react to the long ball. 27, going to be a total of 30 in column 5. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field, and fielder Jones takes care of that. 2 down for Tom Jones. And column 4, we are going to have a defensive result. It's going to be on the first baseman, and first baseman Jiggs Donahue is going to make it a total of 4, and he's going to scoop up a hard hit ground ball. Flip that over to White, and side is retired. 3-1 on the putout. But the Brownies get on the board on a ripped ball down the right field line by Jimmy Williams. It just curved inside the foul pole, and we are 2-1 heading to the bottom of the second inning. Billy Sullivan up against Howell, and going to the 3 column, and it's be a right-handed batter, so a total of 47. And that's a line drive toward left field, and versus a right-handed pitcher. Leaping catch by the shortstop, and a great play out there. Bobby Wallace, the Hall of Famer, robs Sullivan of a hit, and that brings up the pitcher, Doc White. And I don't know why Harry Howell is over in the Sox lineup. Let's fix that. So White, the pitcher, 2-1 lead, and column 1, that is probably going to be a strikeout. 6, swing and a miss. So White goes down on strikes. And first strikeout of the game for Harry Howell to go with his 2 free passes. And a wild pitch of the dice there. Top of the order, 2 down, and Ed Hahn up. and 50Y, and this is a first-time result here, so this is going to be a total of 53 in column 2. And if the letter Y appears beside the result, disregard the original result and treat it as a chopper to the infield. And roll 1 die to determine the fielder. And we're going to roll against the fielder's error rating. So all 3 die, and that is going to be 2 is going to be the catcher, and 24. And that is inside the error rating, so okay there. And that's going to be a fine play by Tubby Spencer, leaping out from behind the dish. And 2-3 on the put out. 3 up, 3 down go the Sox, and we are through 2. 2-1 White Sox lead. And another cool part of this game, you'll run into these events that don't come up. That's the first time that's come up in 6 games played so far. The 5 replay and 1 warm-up game I played. So yeah, really, as I said, enjoying this game, even though this is typically, I'm not a charts guy, but this game definitely has a nice feel to it. And it's going to be a total of 29 in column 5, and that is going to be a fly ball to center field. And Fielder Jones going to put that away, and Spencer, who made that fine defensive play in the bottom of the second, records the first out here. And Harry Howell into column 3 we go again. Right-handed hitter, going to be a total of 36, and Howell's going to help himself, drives that just inside third base. Tannehill unable to get it, down in the corner it goes, and Howell's going to be around and stand-up double. So runner on second base, 1 out, and top of the order now for the Browns, Danny Hoffman. And going into column 1, and 7 does not get the strikeout, but a pop up to second base. Camping under that and calling everyone off is Jake Atz. Going to be 2 away. Browns looking to tie this one up. Go to column 4. And second baseman is going to be a total of 14 in column 4. And that is going to be a potential error. So second base for the Sox, higher than 34. And that is not 14. So fine play by Atz, and Sox are out of the inning to spite the 1-out double as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-1, Chicago in the lead. And again, there were a total of 4 errors, 3 by the Sox in this game in real life, and Chicago has dodged a couple of bullets thus far. So we go to column 5, and going to be a total of 5 in column 5. Grounder down to third base. 5-3 on the putout as Hobie Ferris with a fine play brings up Patsy Doherty. And got some power going. They're going to be 17, and it's going to be a fly ball to deep left field, but plenty of room out there for Stone, who pulls it in. 2 outs. Freddie Perrant, the shortstop, up. And going to be a column 2 result, 39, and 39 is going to be a ground out to the pitcher. So Howell fields his position nicely, and after a rough first inning, he has settled down, retired 9 in a row if you count the sacrifice flies. And we are through 3 innings, 2-1. White Sox with the lead early. Doc White facing George Stone. And we're going to have a stolen base attempt if he gets on base here. Column 5 is going to be a 9. That is a walk. So Stone with a D, and we will go to the stolen base chart on the action chart, actually. All right, so 2 die under column D, and he's going to go. It's a total of 3. POE is the result, so that is a possible error on pickoff attempt. Roll against the pitcher's error rating. And White is pretty good. It's got to be a 56 or higher, and no. So runner is back safely. So again, just a lot of cool interactions in this game, that being one of them. Column 5 as Jimmy Williams comes up. And it's going to be a total of 5. And that's going to be a ground ball. Infield is halfway down to third base, and we're going to get a fielder's choice. So 5-4, Stone is retired, and Williams on at first. Fielder's choice, one down. Bobby Wallace, who made an extremely fine play early in this game, robbing Billy Sullivan of a hit on a leaping catch of a line drive. And going to column 5 and 27 plus 2, 29 in column 5, and that's going to be a fly out to center field. And if batter has a, whatever that symbol is, which he has, beside his result, the runner on third base and less than 2 outs score, not going to be applicable here. So that is going to be a long fly ball. 2 down for the third baseman, Hobie Ferris. And Ferris, total of 30 in column 5. A lot of column 5 results in this one. That's going to be another fly ball to center field. No problem out there for fielder Jones. So the Browns get a walk, but strand a runner. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still 2-1, Chicago in the lead. As my lineups are a little disheveled here. So Jake Atz leading it off against Hal. And into the power column we go, total of 37 there, and that's a strikeout. So Hal jams him in tight, and Atz can't get the bat around. 1 down. Jiggs Donahue, the batter, left-handed hitting first baseman for the Sox. And going to be column 1. And that's going to be a total in column 1 of 7. And that'll be a pop fly to second base, 2 away. Lee Tannehill, the batter. Here comes a pitch from Hal, and going to be a fielding result. This will be the second baseman. So for the Brownies at second base, we have a 1 for Jimmy Williams, and that's going to be an easy play for him. 4-3 on the putout. So yet another 3 up, 3 down inning for the Browns and Harry Howell, who has settled into a nice groove here. 12 set down in a row after a rough start, which allowed the first 4 White Sox to reach base in the opening inning. Doc White going to column 2, and it's going to be a total of 58 in column 2. And 58, that is a looping drive to center field, and if the defensive rating is higher than the Rays number, which is a 3. So for center field out there, and that is going to be fielder Jones, and he is a 5, so he makes a nice running play to retire Jones. Tubby Spencer, the batter. Column 1, 3 is 7, and that's going to be a pop out to second base, 2 down. Some of these chart numbers I'm starting to memorize now a little bit. And we're going to go to the shortstop, defensive check, a total of 6 in column 4, and that's going to be an easy 6-3 put out. So 3 up, 3 down go the Browns. As we are halfway through this contest, and the White Sox still clinging to a 2-1 lead. All runs coming in the first 2 innings. Billy Sullivan looking to end the base or the drought of no base runners, which extends back to the first now. And going to be in column 3, a total of 59 and 59, and that is going to be a potential rare play. So even will be a ground out back to pitcher, and odd we go to the rare play booklet, and again this has a special 1908 rare play chart, and nobody on base at 2. It's going to be a ground out to first baseman to pitcher. Pitcher is knocked to the ground. If he continues in the game, his B grades are in effect. If he finishes the inning without a base runner, he returns to his regular grades next inning. After that, he is subject to regular pitcher duration rules. So Hal is shaken up. I'm going to get the put out there. And he is going to be on his B grades for the rest of this inning, as he's definitely staying in the game to face Doc White. And going to column 5, and again, B grades are here, so a total of 30. And it's going to be a fly out center field, 2 down. Doesn't hurt him there, top of the order. He still has his consecutive batters retired streak intact. Going to the power column now, though, and we have 16 on the batter's card, a total of 21 in column 6. And that ball is driven to center field by Hahn, but again, plenty of room out there. Charlie Jones makes the catch, and another 3-up, 3-down inning for Hal. And he has now set down 15 in a row as we head to the 6th inning, 2-1, Sox in the lead. Top of the order for the Brownies. And in terms of fatigue, Hal has an excellent fatigue rating, 34, which means he can go to the 4th at bat of Lee Tannehill, which is a 7-spot hitter. And for Doc White, he can go to cleanup hitter Jimmy Williams for the 4th time before he risks fatigue. So here we go, Hoffman, and 5 and a 4. That's going to be a total of 28 in column 5, and 28 in column 5 is going to be a fly out to right field, 1 away. Charlie Jones, the batter now. Doc White kicks, delivers, and another column 5 result. That is going to be a 5 and a ground ball down to third base. Tannehill with a fine play, 2 quick outs. And that brings up the third place hitter, left fielder George Stone. Stone today has struck out and walked, was erased on a fielder's choice after that. So column 4, and we're going to have a defensive result, a shortstop check, and a total of 14 there, and that's going to be a potential error. So at short, Freddie Perrant, more than 25, and that is an error, so E6, and with 2 outs, George Stone is on first base. We have our first error of the ball game. Brings up the cleanup hitter for the Brownies, Jimmy Williams. Williams, a second baseman, waits for the pitch, and it's going to be a total of 45 in column 3, and that's going to be a line drive toward left field. So versus a left-handed pitcher, that is a single to left. Runners advance 2 bases. So going over to third, and that error can prove costly now. As runners at the corners, 2 outs for Bobby Wallace. Wallace, a .253 hitter in 1908. A fairly solid offensive player, but more renowned for his defense, and that is going to be a total of 22 in column 5, and 22 in column 5, that's going to be a walk, and we are going to the action chart, column M, possible wild pitch here. So 10, and that is a potential pass ball. And blue die higher than the catcher's pass ball rating. It is not. So a fine play behind the plate by Billy Sullivan. And we reset the at-bat. Or I'm sorry. Brings up Hobie Ferris. So the walk for Bobby Wallace. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ferris the batter. And 5 and a 2. That's going to be a grand total of 29 in column 5. And 29 in column 5 is going to be a harmless fly ball to center field that fielder Jones takes care of. So dodging a big bullet, both pitcher and shortstop, thanks to that error that kind of almost opened the floodgates. We are heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still 2-1. White Sox clinging to a slim lead in this one. And they're looking for their first hit since the first inning. 15 set down in a row by Harry Howell. He's been lights out. And we are going to get a result of 24 in column 1 here. And that is going to be a line drive single, potential error. So that goes into right field, and we're going to roll against the right fielder's error rating, which is 41. And no error on the play, but the Sox have their first hit since the opening stanza, as fielder Jones is on at second. And as good as Howell has been after the first inning, it's time for that dead ball, small ball. We're going to do a little bunt play here. And infield is back. Doherty is a 2. So bunt goes to the pitcher, and a total of 6. And that is going to be a potential sac fly or sacrifice plus an error. And Howell is a 36. And he makes the play fine. But going over to second base is fielder Jones. 1-3 on the putout. And the Sox are in business. Runner in scoring position, 1 out. Freddie Perrant, cleanup hitter, steps into the plate. And Howell swing and miss. Big strikeout for Harry Howell as he gets out one by Perrant. And 2 down now. Runner in scoring position for Jake Atz. Into the power column, and we're going to have a 37 in column 6, and struck him out. So 2 strikeouts, and Atz didn't even get the bat off his shoulder. Second time he is fanned in this one. So the Sox get a hit. And all that does is irritate Mr. Howell on the hill for the Brownies as he comes back to strike out the next 2 batters after a sacrifice. So Tom Jones leads it off in the 7th inning for the Brownies. And going against Doc White, going to be a result in column 2. And a total of 16. And 16 is going to be a single to right field, and we're going to have a stolen base attempt. So this will be again against the catcher's defensive rating, which is a 4. So it has to be higher against the defensive rating, otherwise he'll be caught stealing, and it is a 4 exactly. So single, and Jones tries to steal, and he is gunned down. A fine play there by Billy Sullivan, who is a very, very good defensive catcher for the era. 1 away, and singles wasted. Tubby Spencer, the batter. And we're going to have a total of 38 in column 1, and it's going to be a ground ball down to third base. Nice routine play down there by Lee Tannehill, and 2 outs. Pitcher spot coming up. Harry Howell, the batter, column 4, and we are going to first baseman check. And it's going to be a total of 7 in column 4, and it's going to be an easy ground ball. Takes it unassisted. So Jiggs Donahue makes a play as the Browns get a hit, but that base runner is erased trying to steal. We are heading to the 7th inning stretch. And the White Sox, all the runs came in those first 2 innings. They still continue to lead this 2-1. And Jiggs Donahue is going to lead this off. As through the megaphone, a half-drunken White Sox follower sings a rendition of some song, which is not the standard one we hear today. Could have been a lost Boston rooter singing Tessie, but we are in the power column, and going to be a total of 16, 17 in column 6, and that's a fly ball to deep left field. 1 down. Lee Tannehill, the batter now, and Howell, 1 hit since the first inning. He has pitched remarkably well after a very rough start. And it's going to be a total of 6 in column 5, and it's going to be a ground. That's going to be a walk. So Howell, perhaps starting to falter a little bit. That is his 3rd walk of the game. He walked a couple in the first inning, which came back to bite him. And column 6, we're going to have the power sticks out. 34 in column 6, and short fly ball to center field. Coming in to take that is Charlie Jones. Runner must hold. That brings up the pitcher spot. Doc White, he's still got plenty of life in him. He's working on a 4-hitter himself, so he's going to hit with 2 outs. And it's going to be column 2. We're going to go to the ballpark, a total of 60. And get a new raised number from the ballpark in column 2, and that is going to be a 4. So 60 in column 2, that's going to be a looping drive, and that goes to the right fielder. And it needs to be higher than a raised number, so higher than a 4. And it is not, so we have a base hit. And going over to third base on that is going to be Tannehill. So runners at the corners now, 2 outs. And Howell in a little bit of a pickle for the first time since the opening frame. Ed Hahn looking to break this open for the Sox. And coming out of column 5, it's going to be a 4. 5 in column 5. And that just what Howell needed, a ground ball. Third base, and up with that is Hobie Ferris. Whips it across the diamond, and side is retired. So some anxious moments there for Howell and the Browns, but he pitches out of it, heading to the 8th inning. Still 2-1. Doc White facing Danny Hoffman, top of the order for the Browns. Hoffman had his best days of his career with the Chicago Cubs. So 1 and 6, that's going to be a 49 total in column 1, and 49. Strikeout or come back to pitcher. Infield is back, so that will be a strikeout. One quick out, and for Doc White, that is only his second strikeout of the game. He also has a walk. Not a big strikeout pitcher. Column 1 to Charlie Jones, and 47. And that's going to be another strikeout, so as soon as I say that, back-to-back Ks. Brings up George Stone. And again in column 1, and wouldn't you know it, not a big strikeout pitcher. White, ring him up, Johnny. He strikes out the side. So he gets strikeouts 2, 3, and 4, all in the 8th inning. As the crowd roars its approval, we head to the bottom of the frame. Chicago leading 2-1. Fielder Jones leading it off, trying to get a little insurance here. And it's going to be a third base check. And for the third base, Hobie Ferris has a 2, so a total of 21. And that's going to be a single off Ferris's glove. And we are going to have a stolen base attempt to boot. So Fielder Jones and Jones, this will go against the catcher's defensive rating, which is a 4. So Tubby Spencer, 4 or less, he's going to gun him down, and a nice throw nails him. So caught stealing. Both stolen base attempts in this game have resulted in outs. So a wasted opportunity there. And got to make a little scorebook correction. Okay, that was Fielder Jones, and that brings up Patsy Doherty. Chicago left fielder, and column 4 going to be a defensive check. And this will be on the shortstop, and for the shortstop, Bobby Wallace, going to be a total of 3 in column 4. Easy play for him. So 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And Freddie Perrant, the batter. Column 5 is going to be a total of 2, and that's going to be a ground ball to the third baseman. So 5-3 on the put out there, and side is retired. Sox get a hit, nobody left, and we head to the final stanza, still clinging to that 2-1 lead that they have held since inning number 2. And last chance for the Brownies. Jimmy Williams going to start it off first. And total of 9 in column 5, and he starts it out in fine form with a walk. So Bobby Wallace up, and small ball time. Here we go. Infield is back, of course. Total there of 5. And 5 is going to be a potential sacrifice hit plus an error check. So sacrifice with an error, roll against the fielder's error rating. If the batter is, or if the number is higher, batter is safe. This will be third base. So third base is Lee Tannehill. And this could be extremely costly. Tannehill is a 24, and that is going to be an error. So runners now on first and second. Second error of the game for the Sox, and nobody out. Hobie Ferris, he's going to bunt as well. And he is a 1, so a very good bunter. And it's going to be back to the pitcher, a total of 9, and that is going to be a successful sacrifice. 1-3 on the putout. So 1 down, runners at second, third, infield comes in. Doc White trying to get out of this jam, and that's a favorable roll. 7, and he can't get the strikeout, but a pop out to second base will work just as well. And 2 outs now, runners at second, third, Tubby Spencer, a chance to be a GOAT or a hero, infield back at normal depth. Here comes a pitch, and it's in the power range, a total of 20 in column 6, and Spencer drives that into right field. It's into the gap, chasing it down, and it's going to be caught out there by Ed Hahn, a fine running catch in right center, and ball game is over. So some drama in the 9th inning as an error and a walk and a sacrifice put the Browns with the go-ahead runs in scoring position. But clutch pitching by Doc White, and we have yet another dead ball classic, a pitcher's duel. 2-1 is our final. And very similar to the actual game played back in 1908 on April 19th. So final numbers. The Brownies, 1 run on 4 hits, no errors. The White Sox, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. The winner is going to be Doc White, and he pitched a fine game. Going to be player of the game worthy, a 4-hitter. The only blemish there was a home run given up in the second inning to Jimmy Williams, which just ducked inside the right field foul pole. So his final numbers, he's going to end up with 4 strikeouts and 2 walks, goes a distance, and gets his first win of the year. And Harry Howell, the tough luck loser, he goes 8 innings, going to get credit for a complete game as well. Gives up 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and he got into trouble with his own wildness in the first inning. A couple of walks and a couple of sacrifice flies gave the Sox all they needed. And he finished the game with 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, walked 3 batters, and finished with a grand total of 4 strikeouts. So again, another close one, and having a lot of fun with this 1908 replay. The Sox now, again, remember they had that opening day tie with the Tigers, but the record is now 3-1, 5 games into the 1908 season, and looking forward to a potential pennant run. Will they be able to overtake Detroit in this? And again, the head-to-head games between the White Sox and the Tigers will matter, as will, of course, how the White Sox do against all the other teams. They were in second place, or I'm sorry, finished in third place in this one, I believe a game and a half out. Very good pennant race. So that is it from Southside Park. Game 5 is in the books. Once again, the Sox 2-1 victors in this one behind the complete game masterful performance by left-hander Doc White. And they got all the runs they needed in the first inning. Ed Hahn and Fielder Jones started the game with back-to-back singles. Patsy Doherty walked to load the bases. Freddie Perrant followed up with a sacrifice fly to bring home Hahn. And Jake Atz followed up with, Freddie Perrant walked to bring home Ed Hahn, and then Jake Atz followed up with a sacrifice fly to bring home Fielder Jones. And that was all the scoring they needed. So until next time, keep rolling for the fences. We'll see you. Have a good night.